Gall, and I am the PSEOP coordinator at Cuyahoga Community College, and I want to talk to you tonight about your student earning college credit while still in high school. There is a state-funded program that is called the Post-Secondary Enrollment Option Program. There are two parts of the post-secondary program, Option A and Option B. Most families are interested in Option B because the state will pay for tuition and textbooks for the student at the college. And then Option A is a self-pay program. Let me tell you, every public college in the state of Ohio must offer the PSEOP program. It is a state requirement. Now, every college has their own guidelines for admissions into the program. So if you are interested, you would need to check with the specific college you're interested in. But many of the private colleges offer PSEOP as well. Post-Secondary Enrollment Option Program.
Can you repeat that for us?
Post-Secondary Enrollment Option Program. So every public high school must notify the student or the student's family of this program by the end of February. So some schools put it in a newsletter, some schools put it on their high vis, and other schools have PSEOP information nights where the high school guidance counselors talk about the program and usually invite college representatives to talk about their specific requirements. So it just depends on which high school you attend of how they go. Now I know there might be some Solon parents here. Solon has a big night at the end of February, so they have like 6 or 8 colleges there. So anyway, so you have this announcement of the program, and if your student is interested in the program, they must sign an intent to participate with their high school guidance counselor by the end of March. It's March 30th deadline. Sometimes Easter messes things up, and if students are on spring break, the high school moves the date up because they're on spring break. But March 30th is the state deadline. And this is not a commitment. It's just telling the high school that your student is interested in the program. So every college, as I said, requires a student to complete an application, and every school has different admissions policies. Some look at ACT scores, some look at SAT scores or PSAT scores, and high school GPAs. Once a student is accepted into the program, they can opt whether to participate or not. But if they do, and they go through that option B that's covered through the state, they cannot take more classes than what is offered at their high school. So most high schools are either on a 7 or an 8 period day, so they cannot exceed that 7 or 8 periods. So if they want to take 2 classes at a college, they then have to reduce their high school schedule by 2 classes. So maybe they want to take American Government, which is required for graduation. If they take that at the college, they then take that off their high school schedule. So there's 1 class removed, or 1 class period removed. At Tri-C, we offer classes, and other colleges I'm sure are the same. We offer classes to the students in the evening or on weekends. So the student isn't required to take all of their class during the class day. So maybe they take a class on Monday, Wednesday evenings, or they take a class on a Saturday. That doesn't matter. It's whenever the class is available that can fit in their schedule. They just have to know that they can't exceed that 7 or 8 credit hour or period day. Public or private colleges are slightly different though, because private high schools have the choice of opting into the program or not. So if your student does attend a private high school, you need to check to see if that high school is opting into the PSEOP program. And then if once the student's been accepted, there's a different way of receiving credit for private high school students, because the public school students are receiving subsidy that the high school would generally receive. So actually, I have high school students who take their whole curricula at the college and don't go to the high school at all. And that's covered through the state. But with a private college, or private high school, I'm sorry, because you're not receiving state subsidy, you have to apply for funding to the state. And the state, I think, has made it very equitable in the way they distribute the funding. What they do is they receive all these applications throughout the state and they go, okay, every senior, we're awarding 4 credit hours. Every junior, 4 credit hour. Every sophomore, 4 credit hours. If there are any freshmen, they get 4 credit hours. If there's still money left in the pot, they return back to the seniors and they get another 4 credit hours. Usually midway through juniors, they run out of money. So the private high school student at maximum is going to receive 8 credit hours from the state to use toward the PSEOP program. Just the way it is. Now, I think that it's a really worthwhile program, because the credits, if a student takes a class and they receive a C or better, those credits transfer to any public four-year college in the state of Ohio, and most private colleges accept them as well. There is one exception. Case Western Reserve does not accept any other college's PSEOP credits, but their own PSEOP students. And they usually have a very small pool that they have every year of PSEOP students. But otherwise, your credits will transfer to a four-year college or in between four-year colleges. I actually had a student several years ago who started as a sophomore in the PSEOP program, and when she graduated, she had earned an associate's degree and went on to Cornell, and Cornell accepted 28 credit hours. So she actually started as a sophomore at Cornell, saved her family a year's worth of private tuition. I've had some students who have gone to the Chicago Institute of Design, and they've accepted our credit. It's just with out-of-state colleges, I always recommend that the students keep their syllabus that they receive in their classes, so that if the admissions representative wants to sort of compare the curriculum standards, they would have a syllabus. But as I said, I've had Cornell, Tulane, Chicago Institute of Design, so a lot of colleges out of state will accept the credit. And then some people say, well, what is the difference between PSEOP program and AP courses? Well, you know, AP courses are taught at the high school, and it is a rigorous curriculum. I took AP courses. The thing is, at the end of the year, you have to pay for the test, and depending on what your student scores, will the college accept that score? You know, if a student receives a 3, will some colleges accept that? Maybe not. Some don't even accept 4s. Whereas if you go through the PSEOP program that the state has paid for, and the student gets a C or better, that credit automatically transfers. So, you know, you just have to decide which is the best fit for your student, because if they do PSEOP, they usually are coming to campus, so that sort of disrupts their day. If they're very involved in sports or band or theater, there might be afternoons that they have to be at the high school, so maybe they take their classes at the college in the morning and take their high school classes in the afternoon. You know, it just depends. And the other big pitfall that I see in this program is, let's say your student takes a, and I use American government because I know that's required for seniors to graduate. If they take that American government class and somehow they get distracted because they're a senior or whatever, and they don't pass, they then don't graduate. So sometimes students have to be really aware and careful not to maybe take a full load, maybe just take 1 or 2 classes, get the comfort of going to college and see what college life is like and do well. Some students just blossom in it though. You know, they are finished with high school and are ready for the challenge of college, and they just thrive. But I think the program really offers the students time management skills and just how to relate to college life. And I think they have an edge then to the students who stay at the high school and start as freshmen at college after graduation. Any questions? Oh, God. Good. Thank goodness, because the other crowd, they were asking throughout the whole presentation. Yes, ma'am.
How does the grade that you get on the course that you take through the PSEOP program work into your high school GPA, or doesn't it?
That's a great question, because PSEOP, most high schools that I have found, and I've been doing this program for about 10 years, most high schools do not weigh the college course grade compared to the AP course. So if you've got a child who's interested in being valedictorian or salutatorian, and they're taking a ton of AP courses and they get an A in those classes, they weigh that. They get a 5 credit hour A, whereas the college course is only going to be a 4 credit A. So that is also something to think about. Also, PSEOP is only offered during the school year. So we do not offer the option B in the summer. Unless, you know, there are a couple of CMSD schools that go throughout the year, and then we would, but otherwise we do not. Yes, ma'am.
So you said you can participate in this program as a freshman? How do you, when do you start this program?
You know, again, every college has their own admission criteria. The state has said that it is available for 9th through 12th graders. Most colleges don't offer the program to 9th graders. Tri-C is one of the colleges that does, and what we have said is the student must have a high school cumulative GPA of a 3.5 and have scored at college level English and math, and we have a placement test for that. So they have to meet 2 of the 3 criteria. So most freshmen start at Tri-C, if they're eligible, that our second semester, which is in January, and they are limited to 1 class. So
They would have had to know in 8th grade by March 30th if 8th grade would stay in that.
yes,
Because the 8th grade teachers are talking about it.
hopefully they are. But you know, and I have had in rare instances a couple of 8th grade students who have taken the ACT and scored at college level English and math. So they don't yet have a GPA at high school, but they've gotten those English and math requirements. So we again allow them to take then fall and spring semester. There are some high schools, I think Solon is one of them again, where in 8th grade you can take some high school level classes and have started a high school GPA. But that's rare. Most of the students that you see in the program are going to be juniors and seniors.
And do a lot of these kids, like, what is the percentage of the kids that apply to this program and actually get accepted?
Well, again, every college has their own criteria. So, and if it is a public college, if they meet that criteria, then they're accepted. So like our criteria is ACT scores of 18 or above in English and 21 or above in math. I know Cleveland State, they can look at both PSAT scores as well as ACT scores. So if the student meets those, you know, that criteria at that college, they can be accepted. I have actually had some students who do more than 1 college and high school. So again, that's juggling a lot of balls in the air, but I have one young man this semester who's taking, I think, physics with us, and the rest of his load is at Case West, no, not Case Western, Notre Dame, I think. Yes, ma'am?
Isn't there a stipulation that it has to be a course that's not offered at your school?
That is not correct, no. Many high schools offer that. That's one of the reasons student takes PSEOP. But I have many students who take English Composition 1 and 2. The high school must accept that English Composition 1 and 2 as high school credit. Even though, let's say they're a senior and they should be taking Brit Lit 1 and 2, the state has said if the student takes College Comp 1 and 2, the high school has to accept it as high school credit. Yes, ma'am?
Are there any online classes that qualify?
We at Tri-Seed do not limit students. So if students are interested in online classes, they can certainly apply, certainly register for them. Some high schools would prefer students not take online just because there is a lot more responsibility with online classes. But in my experience, I've been in higher ed now 28 years, and classrooms have changed. We have certainly gone away a lot from the brick and mortar classroom. Web-based classes are more popular, blended classes where students might come one day a week and do the rest of it, the work online. That's an option. And I think our students are certainly more tech savvy than we were when we were in college. So, we certainly offer it as an option. Some colleges do not, some do. But again, just check with the college of the student's interest. Yes, sir.
When they complete the course, does their grade and the credit transfer to the next college, or just the credit thing?
The grade and the credit transfer back to the high school to be calculated into the GPA, but only the credit transfers to the other college. Yes, sir.
What would the main rationale be for choosing a PSEOP course at a college rather than going through, say, a rigorous 8 to 10 AP program in high school?
Well, again, I look at it that the student goes through the AP, and I did, as I said, AP courses. But again, you have to take the test, and you have, depending on your score, will the college of your choice accept that score? Whereas if you go through the PSEOP program and are successful, then the college automatically accepts that credit. And I look at it this way, that through the PSEOP program where the student has met with college faculty and dealt with a syllabus and all of this, that just prepares them more for entrance into whichever school they're going to after they graduate. When their application is submitted, those admissions counselors may look and go, look, they're doing PSEOP, and look at the grades they've gotten so far. I want this student. It's just a different, just a different choice.
But there's no guarantee that another school that students looking into will accept them.
Well, if it's a public four-year institution, or if it's a public college in Ohio, they must accept them. Outside of Ohio, you need to work with the admissions office. As I said, I've never had a student not have their credit accepted outside of the state. And again, the only other place that doesn't is Case.
What are some examples of the courses that you provide at Tri-Seed?
Well, students take a wide variety of courses. And again, they look at foreign language. Some high schools only offer the typical Spanish, French, German, whereas at a college you can take maybe American Sign Language. That's considered a foreign language. Usually Japanese, Chinese is offered. I know Arabic is offered at Cleveland State. So, they get a different choice of foreign languages. Students can start taking sciences, the physics, high maths. I just have a wide variety of students taking just a plethora of classes.
What proportion of students come for evening and weekends as opposed to during the day? 'Cause it seems to be really hard to schedule in the middle of a typical 7-semester day and a period outside and then back again.
You are correct. That's why usually students block it off, that they might come to the college in the morning and then take afternoon classes or switch it. But I have seen more and more students, again, personal experience. I have about 200 post-secondary students. So more and more students are taking the evening and weekend classes or the blended or online classes. The other thing I think you should know about is the chancellor of the Department of Education in Ohio has made some recommendations to kind of change this program, but it hasn't been approved yet, but it may be changing from PSEOP to College Credit Plus. So if you start seeing that, that's the same thing. It really won't change for the students so much as it does for the high schools and the colleges. But the governor is really trying to have students earn some college credit before they graduate from high school. So that's either the AP courses or the International Baccalaureate, PSEOP. They're really, you're seeing more and more high schools partner up with colleges to offer what is called dual enrollment, where the instruction is either offered by qualified high school instructors or the college provides the instructor, and it's the college's curriculum offered at the high school, which kind of again helps with that scheduling problem. And you see more and more high schools, as I said, partnering up with different colleges in the area to offer that. So that may be coming down the line as well, because the governor is very, he really is impressed on, offering this to the high school students. Any other questions? I think I got some of the kinks worked out between this group and the last group. Well, if you have any questions, you can come and talk to me after. Otherwise, good night.